you have a trapezoidal bar of steel. So this is a trapezium prism, and it's melted down into the shape of a cone. So the original bar is this shape, the trapezium prism shown to us. And we need to calculate the volume of that steel. So the volume of any prism is the area of the cross-sectional face, and then we multiply that by the length of how far back it goes. So the area of a trapezium is the two parallel sides, which in our case are 8 and 10. So 8 plus 10, we add those together. We times it by the perpendicular height, which is 6. So we're going to times it by the perpendicular height, which is 6, and then we divide that by 2. So the area of my trapezium is 54 centimeters squared. And then I need to times that by how far back it goes to find the volume. So it's 54 times 13, which gives me 702 centimeter cubes now for my area. So this question is 3 marks. There is 1 mark for the method, and there are 2 answer marks, 1 for the answer and 1 for remembering to use your units. The second part of this question says determine the radius of the cone after the bar was melted down. So it's going to be forming a cone. So I know that I'm going to need the volume of a cone. And the volume of a cone is pi r squared h divided by 3. So to calculate this one, I now need to find any missing pieces of information and then to find what's left. So I have my volume, which I know from my previous answer is 702 because it's the steel that was melted down that's poured into the shape of this cone. So I already know the volume, and that's equal to pi. Now I don't know r. That's what I'm trying to find. But I do know that the height has to be 10. So the height of the new cone is 10. So it's pi times r squared times 10. And then I have to rearrange this to find what r squared is equal to. So I can divide by 10. Whoops, I forgot my divide by 3. So the first thing to do is to times by 3. So 702 times 3, which is 2106 pi times r squared times 10. Now I can divide by 10. So I'm going to divide the answer by 10, and that gives me 210.6 pi r squared. Now I can divide my answer by pi, and that gives me 67.04 is equal to r squared. And now at the end I can square root my answer, and I find that r is equal to 8.18755, and therefore to 3 significant figures r is going to equal 8.19, and that's centimeters for the length of the radius. Now you could also do this on the calculator if you don't feel comfortable doing this algebraic rearrangement. So on the calculator you can try 2 things. The first is math numeric solver, and one side of our equation was 702, and then the second side of our equation was pi times r, which I'm going to call x squared. Let's just get rid of these things. And that is times 10. And then we can click OK and solve. And you can see there, I forgot to divide by 3, sorry. So math, up arrow, numeric solver. So all of this should have been divided by 3. So I'm just going to put some brackets in to show that the whole thing is divided. And then I can do OK and solve. And we can see there the answer is 8.19. So if you don't feel if you don't feel comfortable rearranging it by hand, then instead you can just do it on your calculator using that method. And you would still collect the marks. So the marks for this are shown as 1 mark for substituting into the formula and for using the correct formula. And then the second mark is for the correct substitution. And then the last mark is for your answer.